Hi there. Today I'm looking at an Australian Syrah from the McLaren Vales. This is Ochota Barrels, charmingly named Where's the Pope Syrah. I can only assume that's a reference to Chateauneuf-du-Pape. This is 2021 and this is bottle number 799 of 3,606 produced. The back label tells me that this was planted on schist in 1996. I like the information they put on these. The story of Ochota Barrels is really quite a fast ascent to the heights of respected producers in South Australia. And that was Taras and Amber Ochota, who evidently met in about 2000, spent a lot of time travelling in California, elsewhere in the Americas and around southern Europe, making wine together. And eventually they decided to return to Australia, where they'd grown up. Taras went to Adelaide University, studied winemaking, and in 2008 they set up their winery in the Adelaide Hills, making wines primarily from the McLaren Vale, Barossa and the Adelaide Hills. As I say, this is a McLaren Vale Syrah. Unfortunately, in 2020, Taras died prematurely. Great loss. So 2021, this is the first vintage that was made after he died. The wines aim to be sort of individualistic, small production wines, hence the numbering, and the wonderful label there, I think, is meant to indicate three things. One, the aging in barrels in old French oak, just to allow tannins to soften and allow the fruit to mature. Also the idea of a maze, the idea that this is a complex wine and you'll find lots in there. And then the third reference is to the idea of a barrel in surfing. I'm not a surfer, but I think the idea is that that's quite a spectacular wave. So the Syrah, my understanding is that this receives a certain amount of whole bunch fermentation, which would make sense, because with Syrah you can leave the stalks with it as long as they're ripe, and then aging in old oak. The colour on the wine is a nice deep ruby to purple, not quite opaque, not vividly blue, but holds its colour well to the rim there. See the aromas. Gosh, the aromas are a fantastic combination of, there's a pepperiness, a really vivid pepperiness that you often get with Syrah or Shiraz. There's a sort of a mousiness, which would suggest to me this probably has a tiny touch of Brettanomyces. And then there's a nice ripe, rich sort of mulberry fruit poking out, but then there's more sort of that fantastic white pepper spice over the top, and maybe a slight bit of sort of smoky bacon note, the sort of thing you'd expect from a good Crozet Métage from the Northern Rhone. Let's have a taste of this. Gosh, for a Syrah, the first thing that strikes me about this is unusually high acidity. This is lovely and fresh. The body is light to medium bodied, but there's a good core of lovely fine velvety tannin in there to support the wine. The alcohol on the bottle says this is only 12.6%, and that would make sense, because I think some of their ideas of sort of small production and low intervention are to pick early, thus retaining good acidity, which helps maintain the wine's stability without needing to add lots of sulphur dioxide. There is, I believe, some sulphur dioxide added in bottling, but otherwise, this is quite a low intervention wine. These are wines fermented with their own indigenous yeasts, for instance. Yeah, that's really got a lovely length. The freshness ensures that there's a sort of a delicate, almost a sort of I would say almost a peony note, a lovely fresh perfume to the finish. Unlike a lot of Syrah, there's not a huge amount of alcohol to make the finish hot or to cover the beautiful aromas that are there. So yes, that's Ochota Barrels, Where's the Pope 2021 Shiraz. Thank you very much for watching. Bye now.